heavyweight in makeup truck sherbet lemons. Age, bad haircut, and sugar high aside, I quickly learned a valuable lesson. Desmond's resonated with all audiences, not just because it was entertaining, but also because it was different. The Black South East London take on family life was a huge hit with mainstream audiences, as it offered a voice unheard on a platform of that scale. From the Calypso theme tune to the West Indian banter, and not forgetting those old African sayings, new eyes and ears were won over as the show delivered an exciting and fresh world for the majority. Desmond's was different, and for my perceptive younger self, the penny dropped. Different is good, and authenticity is invaluable. Television was never something I'd pined over. In fact, performing wasn't something I'd realised I was drawn to. Keeping myself entertained was always the motivation for my moments of showing off for my friends, mum, or anyone that would pay attention. If it wasn't me filling the silence, it was music or TV, and when it wasn't my turn to talk, I listened closely. Obsessing over the words used by Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest saw pre-teen me desperately trying to understand why Bonita had an apple bum. I spent hours reciting raps I was far too young to understand, but listening to what my mother and her friends spoke about fascinated me on a whole other level. Even as a child, there was always something I found incredibly captivating about the fantastic hidden within the familiar. From the double meanings held bar after bar in the raps I immersed myself in, to eavesdropping on adult conversations heard through doors and walls, people and their truest experiences were the stories I gravitated toward. The journey from actor to presenter in my teens saw the demands on me change radically. I'd learned early on that the best and most successful actors lose themselves within a character. They become someone else, foregoing the foundations of their own uniqueness and embodying whatever role they've been chosen to play. As a presenter, I was given direction and advice that was quite literally the polar opposite. In 2012, I was fortunate enough to front my own radio documentary for BBC Radio 5 Live called Is Mum Enough?, about growing up with a single parent. I spoke to friends, family, and my role models, talking intimately about key moments in my life. It became a deeply personal and edifying experience, even though I had to venture into testing territory. The subject matter meant that I had to investigate my own role models, and in one part of the documentary, I was on mic with a man I describe as my TV dad, Billy McQueen. I began working with Billy when I was 12 during his time as an exec at Disney, and my first long-running presenting role was one of a gang of child presenters fronting the Disney Club for ITV. It wasn't even close to its American equivalent, the Mickey Mouse Club, where hosts would sing and dance and go on to huge careers in music and film, including alumni Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Britney Spears. Sadly, we couldn't dance and were brilliantly British in our hooligan-like singing, so we stuck to just being kids on screen. Somehow, it worked. Billy wasn't on set, but occasionally came into the office or studio, bringing his own brand of profanity and chaos, which I was instantly drawn to. Our relationship grew closer over the years as we worked together on several other projects, most notably the Sunday morning children's entertainment series for the BBC called Smile. You often see it written in leadership or self-help books that the culture of any company is built from the top down, and Billy's brand of leadership was and still is incredible. Alongside long-term business partner Maddie Darrell, who directed and produced the Disney Club and now runs an award-winning production company with Billy, they created the type of environment that encouraged the style of presentation that played a huge role in my eventual fronting of documentaries. TV was a different place at the time. There was a party for every occasion and a seemingly endless budget for cabs, treats, gifts, and whatever we, the cast, wanted. In hindsight, I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been like working with a pack of pre-teen children's TV presenters. All horny, emotional, spotty and awkward, we must have been a nightmare. Between dousing myself with Lynx Africa deodorant and bathing in OxyClean spot cream, I somehow learned my lines and got the job done. To this day, I'm not sure how, but I remember as clear as my now spot-free face the advice given by Billy. His delivery was refreshingly honest and unmistakable. It was a style best described as a relentless machine gun peppering people with assertions presented as jokes. Unfortunately, they were the kind that cut dangerously close to the bone. "Be you," he'd say, quickly followed by, "We're paying you to be you, so don't fuck it up." Some of the folks in positions of power viewed us, the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed newbies, as a flock just waiting to be fleeced. Billy not only wanted us to win,